You are now tuned in to Go Time Dolphins with Charlie Touche and Kadeem Simmons, the Miami Dolphins podcast that's for the fans and by the fans.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time.
So close to being exactly what I needed to be. Bear with us 2 seconds. If you're watching on YouTube, we look different. This isn't our normal look. If you're listening on Spotify, Apple Music, all the good stuff, you will hear very, very shortly why this next episode is going to be a bit different to what we normally have. But before we delve into all of that, Charlie, how are you?
It's Go Time Dolphins, the Miami Dolphins podcast that goes not only across the pond, but across the world. I'm your boy, Charlie Touche. I got my co-host, Kadeem Simmons, with me. It's always water fans and body fans. Your favorite podcast. And before I continue, you got something for us, Kadeem?
Yeah, I do. First of all, try to think your mic sounds weird. It's a bit off. Second of all, let's see if this works.
Welcome to the first annual 2023 Go Time Dolphins Awards. Introducing our host, Mr. Charlie Touche, and our co-host for the evening, Kadeem Simmons. Your favourite team and your favourite players on your favourite podcast's favourite podcast.
Kadeem, bro. It's so weird to do an intro and not say like the regular intro, but to say welcome to the first annual 2023 Go Time Dolphins Awards. If everybody who is tuned in to YouTube, they say they see a different layout, they see a different imagery. You know what I'm saying? Kadeem got a little suit on. That a bow tie, Kadeem?
It is. It's a little bow tie.
Hey, bow tie shouted. I see you, bro. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? So we're a bit cleaned up for today's episode. We got the award show. Yeah, man, this is gonna be a fun episode, man. How you doing, Kadeem? Matter of fact, happy birthday once again to voice of the podcast, Jordan Simmons. Appreciate you always and forever.
Yeah, 100%. Also appreciate Drakey in the comments says heart. This is amazing. Shout out to everyone listening on the live because it is Valentine's Day. Hannah Montana's not here yet. She just called. The fact that we are doing this on Valentine's Day, there might not be another Valentine's Day for me. That's all I'm saying. But we had to give our fans, our listeners, what they wanted. And before we, really truly delve into, free agency, the draft, all of that kind of stuff, we have to give our Miami Dolphin players their dues, their flowers, to celebrate the achievements. It may not have ended with a Super Bowl ring, but that doesn't mean that there were some amazing plays, some amazing players. And we thought it's only right to make this an annual tradition and, celebrate this season, our 2023 Miami Dolphins.
Kadeem, I got my mic right. Got my mic sounding right. Shout out to you for calling me out on that and figuring that out. Because we were a little bit behind the 8 ball here for this episode, man. But I'm glad we're going to get this episode out the way. For everyone listening, for everyone watching, it's the first annual 2023 Go Time Dolphins Awards. And we got some awards to give out. And we'll see how this episode... You know what? I got to say this. Everyone knows that me and Kadeem don't script episodes. We don't say, hey, Kadeem, this is what we're going to do. This is, you know what I'm saying? We don't plan stuff out. I think there was one scripted episode before. And then, when friends of the podcast come on, your Javon Hollins, your William Hayes, maybe we got to be buttoned up a little bit more, you know what I'm saying? Because we don't want no foolishness to happen. But this is actually, it's somewhat scripted, but it's like the first time we actually had to plan something out and say, all right, well, And then, if I'm being honest with you, we didn't really plan it out that much either. So this is gonna be this is gonna be pretty fun, man. And for all of our patrons on Patreon, this is something that we're gonna put in the levels where you guys on Patreon can help us come up with categories on which to vote on, and tell us what we're celebrating, what awards you want to see, what awards you don't want to see. And everybody in the comments, as we go through these awards, let us know that who you think should win these awards and what you think should win these awards. And when I say what, this is what I mean. Not all of these awards are for people. Some of these are for different scenarios. And I'm gonna open up the first award, and we'll go back and forth, Kadeem, since we really didn't talk about how we're going to do this. We'll go back and forth. We'll leave out defensive MVP, offensive MVP, and MVP for the last three. We'll build our way up to that. So we'll go back and forth, and I'm going to open up with the Celebration of the Year award. And there was a lot of good celebrations, Kadeem. There was one of my favorite is Raheem Mostert. Always, swag surfing and stuff like that. There was maybe, let's see, another celebration I could think of. Waddle celebration is the Waddle celebration. Don't want to just overlook those. We had some, you know what?
So, I was gonna say Tyreek Hill's backflip, the one he recorded.
For sure. Yeah. So he recorded a backflip, right? Yeah. And if you watch Hard Knocks on HBO Hard Knocks, there was a Christmas Carol celebration that we didn't get. And I'm when I seen them practice it, I'm like, yo, that would have been the best celebration. But in the comments, let us know, what do you think the best celebration was? But the 2023 Go Time Dolphins Award for best celebration goes to, without a doubt, the roller coaster celebration. Shout out to Lon Ray. Lon Ray made it, did all of our graphics for this episode. It is a pleasure to work with Lon Ray made it. And the first award for the 2023 GTD Awards goes to the roller coaster. What other celebration did you think was pretty good, Kadeem?
Yeah, as I said, so the roller coaster was against the Washington Commanders in a routine blowout win. But yeah, was it the one against the Broncos where it's like the conga line one?
Yes, it was.
And I think there was some element of not so much Dolphins fans, but NFL fans in general saying this team is feeling themselves too much. They're like pre-planning celebrations, all that kind of stuff. But when you're winning and when you expect to get into the end zone, there's nothing wrong with having a bit of fun. And it's not a Dolphins thing. Players and teams have been doing it for years. It's good to see that the Dolphins back themselves to get into the end zone multiple times. And, when they do, don't just want to shake hands and go back to the sidelines. Like, no, every single touchdown should be celebrated because, you don't know when you're going to get your next one, no matter how good you are. So, yeah, obviously the conga line was a great celebration. Shout out to Drakey. He says it had to be that celebration. And yeah, I don't think you can look past it. And shout out to IMAX. He says, what's up, Go Time Dolphins, Kadeem, Charlie, and chat.
Yeah, Kadeem, that was the celebration of the year. Let's get into the next award. And bro, we got an award show going on. This is fun, bro. Like, it's not every day we get to dress up like this, Kadeem. Like, I feel real nice right now. You feel me? My dog over there with the bald head looking in there. You know what I'm saying? Like my dog
get mentioned in this.
You feel me? You got the beard, got the bow tie, the beard and the bow tie. Listen, there might have to be like some type of, I don't know, the Kadeem Simmons solo Patreon might be called beard and bow tie segment. I don't know, like we working on something, Kadeem. We gotta get something in there. That's what's up. What award are we going to next, Kadeem?
Very quickly. So again, if you're not watching on YouTube, Charlie's got the waistcoat and the tie, but also the glasses. you're giving off like Black Superman vibes. It's gonna like rip off the waistcoat and the tires coming off, but like a dapper one. It's like a mix between James Bond
Oh.
and Superman. Like the glasses, like again, loving the fit, and also I don't know if you've done this on purpose, but a little scratch on the nose so you can see the watch as well. I see that. I see what you're
No,
doing right there.
that was not on purpose. This is because I had to fix my earpiece. And behind the scenes, listen, behind the scenes, for any, I don't know if anyone will catch this, and if you do catch it, I'm a little concerned if you caught it. You know what I'm saying? But I usually keep the earpiece in my right ear because like my left ear just can't keep earpieces in. I have really small ears. And while I was getting ready before we went live, I had the earpiece in my right ear, and it just skydove out of my ear. I do not know where it is right now. I'm not even lying to you. So I had to go left earpiece shouty on them, and it's really hesitating to stay in. So if I really wanted to do something on purpose, I would just go to my ear so everybody could see the watch. You feel me? But now, you said waistcoat. Like we call this a vest, actually. I don't, I guess that's a little different terminology.
So in the UK, a vest is like what you wear underneath your t-shirt. So you
Okay.
got a string vest, which is what you see like in the Caribbean and stuff like that. But essentially, like a sleeveless top you wear underneath your t-shirt would be a vest. But the waistcoat / vest which Charlie's wearing, yeah, we call that a waistcoat.
For anyone who's listening to the audio version on the way to work, on the way back from work, we'll have a lot of social media content of today's episode. It's a once a year type thing, and I think we could get used to this. What category are we going to next, Kadeem?
So I think we should do the image of the year. Image of the year, and it's a not so much a difficult one, but it's the Dolphin social media team, photographers, video content, all that kind of stuff. They capture so many moments. And some of those moments just, they are amazing images. Anything from a player getting a sack off to a touchdown, all of that kind of stuff. But when we're talking about the image of the year, again, to me, one thing stuck out immediately. So the winner of the image of the year is the Devon A-Chain run, where they're just a sea of Broncos players on the floor. And again, that just summed up not just that game, but like the breakout wow moment of Devon A-Chan, just leaving a bunch of players in his dust.
That image, and it's again, shout out to everyone who rocks with us on Patreon. You guys will be able to tell us and help us out with the categories that we're going to have in the future. Like if you want an image of the year, if you want a fan of the year, if you want I don't know, penalty of the year, bad call, whatever you want, whatever category we could come up with, that's what we're going to do. And these are the categories that we came up with this year. And this image, Kadeem, when it happened, I remember watching the game while this happened. I'm like, bro, I thought I seen like 8 people on the ground at the same time. Like, why are all the Broncos on the ground right now? Bro. And then for social media to catch on to it, and then ESPN caught on to it, and then now it is a Go Time Dolphins award for image of the year. Man, that was a game. It was a game, and around this time of the year, that was when people were like, other teams were talking about us during their games in the huddle. Amon-Ra St. Brown and Jared Goff was like, bro, did you see what Tua did? You know what I'm saying? Like, you see what the Dolphins are doing? I think the Cowboys was on the same thing. Micah Parsons, like, Tua, we see you. We see y'all boys in Miami. You feel me? So how we went from feeling this good during this game to, oh, Mike McDaniel has to give up play calling and Tua's not the quarterback. I don't know how you do that. You know what I'm saying? But that's where I come in and say, bro, clearly it was not the same team later on in the year that it was during the early on during the year. But that was our image of the year. Kadeem, did you have another image that you felt like, you know what, this possibly could have been the image of the year, or was this is just far and away the image of the year?
Shout out to Drake. He said that game feels so long ago, and it really does, especially where the Dolphins ended up at the end of the season. Like to go from the highs of that to the lows of being dumped out in the playoffs, it's just insane. But other images of the year, I think one that sprung to mind and somewhat of a similar image to this was friend of the podcast Javon Holland's pick six against the East Rutherford Paper Plains, where again there's just a body of Jets players on the floor in his wake. Those are my like this image and that one were my two standout ones of the season. Outside of that, I couldn't think of too many. But how about you?
So, like my co-host like to say, peek behind the curtain. When we came up with this idea to do this episode, it was we had to kind of talk about what we could do to make it better, what we could do to get people involved, and how can we do it in the future as well, and what categories and stuff like that. And then we had this conversation, and Kadeem, I'm be a little transparent if you don't mind. We had to talk about, okay, well, is it going to be this is my image of the year, and then Kadeem's going to have his image of the year, and we're going to have for every category it's going to be Charlie Touche's image of the year, Charlie Touche's which one did we just do before this? Celebration of the year, right? I don't want to tip off everybody on what's coming up, but and then Kadeem's celebration of the year, Kadeem's image of the year. So that's what we were going to do first. And then we decided, you know what? Nah, let's put it together. Since it's called the Go Time Dolphin Awards, we're just gonna have a collective agreement and come up with our between me and Kadeem the consensus image of the year. And some of these are pretty close. And I believe the Tua Talk to Me image was gonna be my image of the year. Like when Tua threw that bomb to Waddle, and everyone was talking on social media beforehand, and Tua looked at the sideline and did one of these. Talk to me. That would have been my image of the year, but I can go for this. This is the Broncos on the ground. I could really go for that. So yeah, what you thought about my image of the year if we would have went that route, Kadeem?
Shout out to 5 Yard Lee calling me as I'm recording. I'm like, yo, I've got to call you back. So shout out. So again, if you're watching on YouTube and you see me on the phone, that was 5 Yard Lee. So shout out Lee. No, that image genuinely didn't come to my mind, but it's also one of those moments where it's like, how did you not? And again, especially for all of the niceness about Tua, you know, the people say whatever they want about him and he doesn't respond. The moments when he does respond, to me, like it's I guess funny for me to say this, but it's unforgettable. You know, like in preseason where it was like, keep my name out your mouth. Everyone's like, yo, love that. And same way that, you know, like the look at me, talk to me thing. Yeah, that's one of those moments where in an ideal world, I guess, you know, the Dolphins win the Super Bowl, and that's one of those moments where Tua really locks in and stuff like that. It didn't quite happen that way, but no, it's a genuine image of the year, and one which hopefully we can talk about in a more positive light going down the road.
So the next category we're going to get into is play of the year. And before we get into the play of the year, everyone in the comments, let us know what your celebration of the year was, and also let us know what your image of the year would have been. And once we get to social media, you guys can let us know on social media what the image of the year was for you personally, and what the celebration of the year was personally. But we're going to get into the play of the year. And Kadeem, the play of the year, you kind of just talked about it. And again, peek behind the curtain, we had to share our responses prior to the episode, something that we never do. Me and Kadeem never talk about the game before we go on air. We never talk about anything Dolphins oriented before we come on the podcast, unless a couple of our sources hit us up and then we have to, you know, decipher some stuff. But when Kadeem hit me with his list, I'm like, bro, Kadeem, this is a solid list, bro. And a lot of these categories kind of worked out to where it was a unanimous, yeah, this is it right here. So the player of the year, Kadeem, Go Time Dolphins 2023 Play of the Year award goes to the Javon Holland pick six. Javon Holland gets a pick six, a Hail Mary, a fail Mary, so to speak, and picks it off against the Jets. And then we get an image, but it's also a play. And that one goes to the house. And shout out to friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, for that one.
It's insane because that moment, I guess, or that play, and again, like it's a lot of it is wording, but this play was just so, I guess, it summed up my time as a Miami Dolphins fan, like the highest of the highs and the lowest of the lows. It's Good Friday. The Dolphins are just in control, and if I'm correct, through Tua throws like a pick six just before halftime, and it's with a. I think it's the definite interception. I don't know if the Jets take it to the house, so pay play take it to the house, or regardless, it's like, yo, what are we doing? Like, this is the worst time to turn the ball over in a game where it wasn't close. And then, I'm watching it with some Paper Planes fans and they're feeling themselves. And, it's like, essentially, end of the half, like you said, Fail Mary and friend of the podcast, Javon Holland picks it off. It's like, okay, cool, fair enough. Momentum back on our side. And then so I can say he just keeps on going and going and going, and it's just
and you see Mike McDaniel. You see Mike McDaniel like, okay, we got to pick, and then he's like, wait a minute, this might be something, and it's like, oh yeah, we're gonna score this, and then Mike McDaniel runs out the field because it's halftime, and then turns out we got to kick the extra point, and behind the scenes, Hard Knock says, oh, we got to kick the extra point. Shout out Kadeem saying it was Good Friday, not Black Friday, but we'll allow you, saying we'll
apologies.
Good Friday is in like a month from now, but it's cool, Kadeem. Hey, so everybody else in the comments, let us know what your play of the year was for 2023. This is the Go Time Dolphins play of the year. Any other plays, Kadeem, that you thought maybe had a run for a play of the year without tipping off some of our awards, Kadeem? Without tipping off the awards, any other plays that you thought was play of the year?
I think what we're going to speak about later, like people behind the curtain, easily could have been the play of the year. There were just so many.
It's probably the next episode, the next award, actually.
Yeah, but I just think there's so many like single moments. Well, like Zach Sealer got a pick six this year. Like that could have been a play of the year.
Sealer did get a pick six.
Like Andrew Van Ginkel's little run. Like it felt like every single week, Andrew Van Ginkel was making a play of the year. Some of the deep throws from Tua to insert wide receiver here was just brilliant. Some of like Raheem Mostert's runs, like there were so many different moments, so many different plays where you go, you know what, that one could have been the play of the year. But it's again, like if you're in the comments and if you see what Drakey just said, we will get to that. But yeah, I think when you asked me what my play of the year was, this one was just like it went from a negative turning point for the Dolphins to a positive one, and it's just like, yeah, that was just plus a friend of the podcast, Javon Holland, like gotta give him a shout out.
I ain't gonna lie, I was actually about to give away another award, but I just gave away this one, so I was about to skip you, Kadeem. But go ahead and give away our next one.
So let's bring this up very quickly.
And again, for let us know y'all play of the year on social media in the comments. Let us know what y'all play of the year is. But Kadeem got another one to give away for us.
So touchdown of the year, and again, it's well, I now have to do this because I just said it, but yeah, touchdown of the year. And the reason I was going to go to this one next is because Drakey mentioned it in the comment. Now, again, the Dolphins at certain points this year were feeling themselves so much, and no one could tell them otherwise. Like, no one could rain on the Dolphins parade. And again, we mentioned this game previously, that Broncos game, was just like, again, summed up typical Dolphins team, fandom, all that kind of stuff. How in a game where you put up 70 points, you give up a special teams return? It's like, yo, what is going on? But when the Dolphins got the ball, they were just humming, they were buzzing, and the Go Time Dolphins touchdown of the year, yeah, it's touchdown of the year. is the no look pass to Devon Achan, because it was just, again, it was just beautiful. And it was Tua's right hand, which is his strong hand, despite the fact that he throws with his left hand. It was just the Dolphins with all the motion and the tricks and all that kind of stuff. It would just summed up in this, touchdown of the year for us.
Bro, this was the play that the Lions were talking about in the huddle during their game. I don't know if fans can imagine a football team playing against another team and seeing a highlight of a game that's not even in their conference and talking about it in their huddle while it just happened. Like, put some respect on the name, bro. Like, put some respect on the Dolphins name, put some respect on Tua's name, put some respect on McDaniel's name, talking about you don't want to call plays no more. Come on, man. This is the play of the year. And I ain't gonna lie, Kadeem. This has a chance to be an NFL play of the year. If you took all the plays of the NFL and gave it an award, this might be a top 5 consideration, maybe even top 3. It was casual. Shout out to Drake. He said it was so casual, like putting rubbish in a bin. Shout out to them boys in the UK talking about rubbish. But yeah, that was the touchdown of the year. As always, Kadeem, was there any other touchdown that you felt like could have been touchdown of the year?
Again, we mentioned it a second ago, the Javon Holland pick six. It's, and I guess a special shout out to, did Mike White come in against the Broncos and score a touchdown with Robbie Chosen?
Chosen Anderson, Robbie Chosen. I thought he did, and then the internet got upset about it. I can't remember, but I thought Mike White did throw a touchdown.
Yeah,
you think that was up for a touchdown of the year though?
Do you know what? I think it was just a deep bomb from the backup quarterback to like a backup wide receiver, and again, even though it ultimately meant nothing, it was just like the confidence, and it's weird. It's because if I'm being truthfully honest, so many of the Dolphins touchdowns are everything working in perfect order, if that makes sense, in terms of like, to have seen the pass has got there. I think actually, my mind escapes me. Was there one? I think Tyreek Hill had one where it's a bit underthrown, but Tyreek Hill does some Tyreek Hill things and just takes it to the house. But again, we're talking like games where we scored like 7 touchdowns. Like, there's so many touchdowns to go through that this one clearly stood out. In terms of other ones, it's like, they all just merge and blend into one at some point.
Yeah, there's no other one for me. This was touchdown of the year. It was just, they said Tua does it in practice, and to have the cojones to do this during the game, you know what I'm saying? Like, that's something. So let us know in the comments what the touchdown of the year would have been for you guys. And I'm gonna go ahead, Kadeem.
What would have been the touchdown of the year last season?
2022 season.
Yeah.
Touchdown of the year, 2022 season. Kadeem's taking us through it now. That was for me, my dollar, it would have been the Mike Gesicki climbed the ladder against the Ravens. That was last year, right? That was 2022.
It was. Yeah, it was.
Yeah. So you had that Ravens game and you had that Bills game. So if someone said the Waddle catch that won the game, I'm okay with that. But I think when Mike Gesicki scored that touchdown and did the gritty Gesicki, and we were still down like 21 or something like that, and everybody was like, "Yo, you look at the scoreboard. This is foolishness." And Mike was just in his own world, like, "Nah, bro, I'm doing my dance." And it brought us back. Like, nah, for me, that was the gritty Gesicki. That was the beginning of the comeback. Man, that was a special moment for us, bro. And it's crazy. If you're about to say something, I was about to get into a segue, but it sounded like you were about to say something, Kadeem.
Very quickly, yeah, I know Drake is a massive Gesicki fan, and also I feel like there was like 3 or 4 touchdowns of the year in that one Ravens game. If I'm
Mhm.
again remembering correctly, it's where Tua's got the ball. People say Tua can't play off script,
Oh,
and he like and the spin and the dot, like
yeah,
yo.
yeah.
But again, there were so many that one game alone.
Right, he spun out, and that was when Waddle was in the back of the end zone, and Waddle was like, "Don't throw it to me, I'm eligible." And I think Craycraft 400 caught that one,
Yeah.
the one that you're talking about. But that game of 2022 had a lot of moments, and we actually have a moment of the year award this year, and this is actually the last award before we get into the individual awards. I believe I could be wrong. Maybe Kadeem gonna clean up later, help
No, you're
me
right.
out. But
You're right.
this is the last award that is not player oriented. And the moment of the year for me, Kadeem, was easily the Jason Sanders playoff clinching field goal against the Dallas Cowboys. And that could have been the moment of the year. That could have been the play of the year. And that could have been the image of the year, with the image being Coach McDaniel walking onto the field and everybody running onto the field like you know what I'm saying? We're going to the playoffs. We couldn't get a clean image of that, but we do have the image here with Jason Sanders sending us to the playoffs.
Yeah, again, it's not some of the awards, in my opinion, were quite easy, and this one again, it's like when you think of a particular moment, and it's weird because it's not like the Dolphins weren't in the playoffs last year, so it's not like it's the first time. Sorry, it's the first time the Dolphins got to the playoffs in in how long, but it was again we speak about can the team do X, Y, and Z, and Jason Sanders for all of his throughout his entire Dolphins career, again, there's been ups and downs, and this game he was just clutch throughout the game. But the Dolphins, go behind late on. Tua drives down the field, puts us in field goal range, and this is what like field goal number 5 of the game. And obviously, there's the games after, so the Dolphins had moments to clinch a playoff spot, but to do it on Christmas Eve, send everyone happy into like this game finished on Christmas Day for me. So if people know me, or if you're a Dolphins fan, if this kick goes wide or hits a post and the Dolphins lose, Christmas is ruined. Dude, I don't care what you get me. Christmas is ruined. Jason Sanders, as you can see in the picture, he looks up, nails it. And I think there is an image of him like being picked up and him like his hands in the air. It's like, yeah, I got this. So yeah, listen, shout out to Jason Sanders. In my opinion, a great kicker. Hannah Montana in the comments saying lies. I don't know what I just said was a lie, but if the Dolphins lost, Christmas is ruined. Like, there's no lies to that. Like, I'm telling you now, lies. So, yeah, that was our moment of the year. Shout out to Drakey. He says, what a moment. And then shout out to Robert Ashton, says, the kicker that saved Christmas.
Oh, man. Shout out to Hannah Montana.
That's a movie.
Shout out to Hannah Montana letting us record this on Valentine's Day. You know what I'm saying? Also, yeah, the image of everyone running onto the field, they had the Celine Dion music behind it. Bro, that image, that moment, everything, that was it. Nah, man, you said it all, Kadeem. No reason for me to spend any more time on that one. I think it's your turn to give away an award.
So, like I said, now we get into the individual player awards, basically. We'll finish obviously with the offensive player of the year, defensive player of the year, MVP, all that kind of stuff. I think one which we kind of not decided late on, but couldn't quite work out what to call it. We've called it the new edition of the year. Shout out to New Edition, the band, like love New Edition. But this is one of those things where you kind of don't want to have. I think, in my opinion, this year doing rookie of the year would have been quite pointless because it only would have been won by one person. But also, the Dolphins bring in so many people, undrafted free agents, undrafted rookies, free agents, all that kind of stuff.
Coaches.
I'm not gonna. Coaches, yeah, 100%.
Coordinators.
I'm not gonna lie. When we was doing this, I was gonna give it to Andrew Van Ginkel with a caveat that he left and came back. So technically, he was a new addition, but I didn't like that. Would have been while smart, also quite dumb. So again, I kind of tipped the award in terms of, in my opinion, this could only go to one person. Um, and he's someone who, if you are a full-time listener to Go Time Dolphins, you heard about him before he became a Dolphin. You heard about him on Two Shades 24. So the 2023 new edition of the year is the one and only Devon Achan.
Kadeem, instead of pulling up the award, actually award that's going to Devon Achan, we could have just went to the draft, the 2023 draft, where the Miami Dolphins selected Devon Achan, and our reaction was caught live on this podcast when we heard that we were going to get Devon Achan, and it was like, you gotta be kidding me. We're going to get Devon Achan, and suddenly he's the 2023 Go Time Dolphins new edition of the year. So shout out to Devon Achan, hopefully soon to be friend of the podcast, Devon Achan. But he's too quick to catch him. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, that without a shadow of a doubt, far and away the new edition of the year. You could have had Vic Fangio, you could have had Jalen Ramsey, new edition as well. There's some new additions, but clearly we didn't have a rookie of the year category. We're probably not going to have a rookie of the year category. And I think it's always going to be considered new addition of the year. That way you can include coordinators or coaches or new players that come from another team. And yeah, Kadeem was spot on, mate. Spot on.
I'm so glad you said that, because shout out to Robert Ashton in the chat, who just came up with an award. And I think that award can also go perfect for what Charlie just said. So he said, award for best dressed podcaster go to Charlie Touche, very Peaky Blinders. And if you haven't seen Peaky Blinders, I think it's set in like Birmingham or something, but that spot on would have been like perfect. And then like all you're missing now is like the flat cap. But yeah, Peaky Blinder. Charlie has won the best dressed podcaster. I've got up my game for next year. Let's just put it that way.
I appreciate it, fellas. The people's champ for now. You know what I'm saying? I'm not gonna lie. I would have gave it to Kadeem Simmons with the all black, with the black bow tie, the beard and the bow tie. I would have gave it to him, but I'll take it. I'll accept this on behalf of Go Time Dolphins. I appreciate the best dressed for podcaster of the year superlatives. But we're gonna get into, again, this is individual players, and this award goes to a friend of the podcast. A lot of people counted this man out. This podcast did not. And without further ado, the 2023 Go Time Dolphins Award for Most Improved Player goes to a friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson. Kadeem, a lot of people counted this man out. When I met Austin Jackson in person, it was during COVID. He had a mask on. I kind of know this person in there, like behind the, you know what I'm saying, like behind what's going on. And we chopped it up. He was a cool dude, and that's not why he's getting this award. He's getting this award because he is the most improved player of the year for the Miami Dolphins, and it is not even close in my opinion. Everyone said this man was a bust. Everyone said we should let him go. Who's going to be the tackle next year and all this other good stuff. And then I remember last year, I'm like, yo, what if Austin Jackson comes out and balls out and we're going to have to pay him? Then what are you going to say? And that's exactly what happened. He got his new contract. Let me hold something, bro. You feel me? Like, that's what's up. Shout out to friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, most improved player of the year. Y'all let us know in the comments who you would have had for most improved player of the year. But Kadeem, what you think about the most improved player of the year?
It's literally everything you just said. There was no other option in this. You know, we could be cute and say, well, you know, Tua because of the passing yards and all that kind of stuff, but it just wouldn't be true. No one made the leap that friend of the podcast, Austin Jackson, did. He genuinely, and again, like you said, not on this podcast, but around most Dolphin fans, he went from someone who, even in the draft last year, you have to replace Austin Jackson. Do not play him. He's a liability, all that kind of stuff. To, he's a, the first, like that right tackle position is his. This year, when we talk about our improving the offensive line, no one talks about Tua's blindside because Austin Jackson has made that position his own. He was someone who, coming out of college, done an amazing thing. Like, he gift his sister bone marrow, I believe it was.
Yes.
So
And no one gave him the credit of not redshirting that first year as a rookie, in which he didn't even have a bad rookie year, in my opinion. You know what I'm saying? It was the follow-up season that were questionable. And Chris Greer was like, yo, the man was been injured, fluke injuries. No one wanted to buy it. And here we are. Yeah, man donating bone marrow and then playing in the NFL in the same 1 year calendar. That's wild.
Yeah, so shout out to Fender to see you, continue to protect Tua's blind side for many, many years to come.
What you got for us, Kadeem?
I guess we are down to the final few, but doesn't make them any less important. I am going to go with Defensive Player of the Year. And again, this is one which, in my opinion, there's genuinely some contenders for this. It would have been amazing to see both friend of the podcast, Bradley Chubb, and Jaden Phillips finish the season because they were on an absolute roll. They were tearing through teams. Shout out to Zach Sealer, had himself a great season. Again, shout out to Christian Wilkins, had himself a great season to the point where we are having a genuine debate as to how much do you pay him to keep him, all that kind of stuff. And even someone we mentioned, I think mentioned a person on Patreon. I don't think quite Defensive Player of the Year standards, but had himself a great season. Hopefully he comes back in Deshaun Elliott. But for someone who arrived in the off season to great fanfare, to lofty heights, and once I say this, everyone knows who it is, to get injured on I believe one of the first days of training camp, come back before anyone expected him to, in his first game get an interception, and finish the season as in my opinion, genuine Defensive Player of the Year candidate. Jalen Ramsey. Whatever we gave the Rams wasn't enough, in my opinion, but I'm not going to complain because he came in, became a shutdown corner, and again, who would have known how the season ended? Not just if the Dolphins stayed healthy, but if Jalen Ramsey was allowed to shadow number one receivers across the pitch. So Jalen Ramsey, the GTD Defensive Player of the Year in 2023. Charlie's on mute.
Kadeem said it the best. Jalen Ramsey, Defensive Player of the Year, for everything he just said. And I guess when we get into bonus time, we'll chop it up a little bit more. But yeah, Jalen Ramsey came in, had a pick field goal, according to Mike McDaniel. Jalen Ramsey was hurt for a few weeks, and we missed him on the team. And he said, I'm gonna get a pick six the first game back. And he came in, got a pick, and returned it, but we got a field goal. We didn't get the pick six. So he didn't take it to the crib. So but just when you thought Jalen Ramsey didn't have any juice left, dude was like the cornerstone of the DBs. And that's why he got the Defensive Player of the Year for 2023 Go Time Dolphins Awards. Can't wait to see what happens next year. I like the addition. I like what he brings to the table. I'm happy to be a Dolphin fan today. I'm not even lying to you. I know there's a lot of turmoil on Twitter, but I'm happy to be a Dolphin fan today.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, well said, Charlie. What is the next award, Mr. Touche?
The next award, nipped in the bud, is the Offensive Player of the Year. And in bonus time, we'll let you know, we'll reveal how we came about some of these winners and how me and Kadeem have to go back and forth and say, well, no, I feel this way, and he feels that way, and well, it's Go Time Dolphins. What are we gonna do? But the Offensive Player of the Year award goes to Tyreek Hill. And Tyreek Hill was on track to get over 2,000 receiving yards, played hurt, missed the game, still had a chance to reach 2,000 receiving yards while he was injured, came back for us, didn't ever lay down. There was times where this man would fight through cramps and still be on the field and somehow be able to hit a backflip when he scores a touchdown injured. You know what I'm saying? You don't want to see that, but we do want to see him winning an award for offensive MVP. We didn't get it done though, Kadeem. We didn't win the Super Bowl. We didn't make it to the AFC Championship, but I can see the potential that we have here. And it's not like just potential. It's not like, oh, well, we have a chance to be good and we're not even making the playoffs anymore. Yo, it is a progression. We made the playoffs the past 2 years. We've had the best offense in the league, arguably, for the past 2 seasons. And that's not hyperbole. And Tyreek Hill is a huge part of that and reason why that is.
Yeah, again, like Ross said, I can't add much. It's a shame he didn't get that 2,000 yards. But he's been a genuine game changer, and I know obviously in the aftermath of the Chiefs back-to-back Super Bowls, people are saying, how does Tyreek Hill leave the Chiefs and they go on to win back-to-back Super Bowls? That is insane. That's just listen, when you got an alien at quarterback, it is what it is. But no, Tyreek Hill is someone who the Dolphins genuinely are a different team when he's not in the field. Like that Titans game when he missed most of it because he was hurt. Once he came back, the Titans were scared again. They were like, "Yo, like you have to deal with him." And we have to have essentially 7 months of not hearing Kevin Harlan go, "He's got healed." Like I need that in my life. I need to hear that once again very, very soon. So shout out to Tyreek Hill, Offensive Player of the Year. Just someone who come in, become a real leader for the Dolphins, and the Dolphins offense wouldn't be the same without him.
Apparently, Blake Ferguson, long snapper for the Miami Dolphins, he's got Hill in his life too, because he said he was going to get it tatted on him. Blake Ferguson said he's got Hill tatted on him somewhere. That's crazy. Yeah, man, that's listen. Even McDaniel, and I hate that McDaniel gives some of this stuff away, but on Hard Knocks, Hill was hurt, and Hill came back to the game, and trainers in McDaniel's ear saying Tyreek's back, and then McDaniel says, "Oh, that changes everything," and he's looking in the play sheet. I would just hope and wish it didn't have to change everything if you lost somebody like that, and you can still dial up some plays to get a victory. But we got one more award. Actually, we got another award to give away. We have one in bonus time, but this is the most important, I guess. Kadeem, let us know what this last award is.
It's the MVP. Listen, this was the one where we kind of going back and forth, not too much, but kind of like who wins MVP, and that doesn't mean the person who we decided on doesn't deserve it. It's just the whole thing about MVP is if you take this person out, he's the most valuable player. The team is not the same without him, and you saw the Dolphins this season lose multiple players, and it just chipped away from what the Dolphins could do. But even though it didn't happen this year, you saw last year what the team is without him, and it's amazing that we didn't have to see it this year. But like we said on our last episode, if this person goes down next season, the season's basically over. He's someone who had a genuine shout to win league MVP and essentially didn't get it after losing a game which wasn't close by the end to the eventual 1 seed, the Baltimore Ravens. So as Robert Ashton says, spoiler alert, as Charlie Suchet returns, so I can get to the 2023 first annual GTD award MVP winner. You know what? I'm not going to say the person's name because Charlie does it better than me. Charlie, what is his full name?
The 2023 Go Time Dolphins award for MVP goes to quarterback Tuaninga Manu Olipola Tungavailoa. And it is close. I was going to say it's not close, but it was close. It was a toss-up between him and Tyreek Hill for sure. But just like Kadeem just said, when Tua goes out, the team is different. When Tyreek Hill goes out, the identity is different, but not the entire team. And you never want to see Tua go out. And it was so much of a talking point that people thought, oh, he's not going to be healthy, and you got to spend $20 million on a backup quarterback and this and that, and you got to have insurance for Tua, and he gets hurt and he's not durable. And suddenly there were 67 quarterbacks in the NFL that started a game last year in the NFL. 67. By the way, there's only 32 teams. And Tua started every single game. So Tua is definitely the MVP for me. He amassed 4,600 yards passing, and 7 of those games of the 17 games he played, Kadeem, were out of reach, like blowouts in favor of the Dolphins. We kind of got blown out in like 2 of them, but we had blowouts in favor of us in like 7 of them, and he easily would have reached 5,000 yards. A category of 5,000 yards passing where it is almost only Hall of Famers. So Tua is the MVP for the Dolphins for me. Kadeem, what you got?
Again, I can't add much, and it's interesting because, like you said, Tua didn't miss any game time this year, so one can make a genuine and valid argument that, well, Tyreek Hill would be the MVP and Tua would be the offensive player of the year. But the offense ran through Tua, and like that is in no way relegating Tyreek Hill's what he does to this team. Like you can't take away Tyreek Hill from this team and it be the same. But genuinely, you can't take away Tua from this team and have this offense run the same. His ability to get the ball out on time to where exactly to where it needs to be. Is he perfect? No one's ever said he's perfect. And we had a whole discussion about how much his contract is going to be when he does sign it. But in my opinion, you don't. It'd be funny to not win MVP of the team when you're in the MVP race all season, up until, like I said, that one game where we lost to the Ravens, and we were like, yeah, that's his MVP, candidacy over. But yeah, as Robert Ashton says, tatted Tua rules MVP.
Tatted Tua. I mean, take Tyreek Hill off this team. What does it look like? Take Tua off this team. What does it look like? That's just in a nutshell how I got there. And yeah, man, Tatted Tua is a dude. Shout out to everybody who rocked with us on this episode, the first annual Go Time Dolphins Awards. It will be an every year thing. We're going to do this every year. We're going to make it better every single year. Hopefully we can get to a point, Kadeem, where we can have some of the winners on the episode and give them the award. Like, hey, man, you won. You know what I'm saying? How you feel about winning this Go Time Dolphins Award? But yeah, man, before we get up out of here and go into bonus time where we do have one more award to give away, Kadeem, you got something to say before we get up out of here?
I'm just enjoying sitting here with the black James Bond, the black Superman, Charlie Suchet, with not even like the best dressed of the podcast. Like that's the official award. Charlie won it. We don't have a graphic, but no, great episode. I need to stop talking because I think I swallowed the fly. So Charlie, over to you.
Shout out to Lanray at Lanray Made It for all the graphics. Shout out to my co-host Kadeem Simmons for coming through, which he had my vote for best dress. Shout out to the listeners. Shout out to everyone in the chat. shout out to all the timers, the Go timers. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's a cool thing to be a part of in this community, the Dolphins community, and not just the Dolphins community, but you guys come to Go Time Dolphins to get the barbershop talk and the unfiltered takes. And on to the 2024 season, man. Y'all know what time it is. Stay positive, test negative. For Kadeem Simmons, I'm Charlie Touche. Thank you for tuning in this time. Make sure you catch us next.
That's my fault. It wasn't meant to cut you off. Apologies. I tried to play the award ceremony.
This guy's funny, bro.
Because figured like when we do like
it was a good look though. I ain't gonna lie. I was like, oh, I hear it coming in. That's pretty dope.
Yeah,
bro, I could do this, bro. I'm a quarterback, bro. I could do it. You could have played the music. I could have went on top, and then you swatted it out. It was working. It worked.
Apologies, but yeah, we'll see you in bonus time. Give me 2 secs.
Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's show time. Cause it's your time. Lay it on the line when it's go time. Don't waste no time. Gotta make them lose their mind when it's your time. And it's show time. Going all out when it's go time. I ain't wasting no time.
Shout out to everyone who has joined us on Valentine's Day. Robert Ashton, Drakey, Hannah Montana. Thanks, Hannah, for allowing me to podcast on Valentine's Day.
I'm hungry.
Charlie's on mute.
I ain't gonna lie. I was gonna say we need to thank Hannah for allowing this episode to happen today.
She just quick chat back. She's hungry, so I can't stay too long. Like we haven't eaten yet, so yeah. Shout out to Robert Ashton, says Kadeem Scarface Simmons in that suit. I love that nickname.
Kadeem Scarface Simmons. Shout out to Robert Ashton dropping the bangers. Listen, so in real life, Joe Flacco wins Comeback Player of the Year award, and in my time, Kadeem, Comeback Player of the Year meant you were hurt and you came back from an injury and you're hurt, and look at you making the Comeback Player of the Year. And then I think like the past 2 years, that hasn't been like that. Maybe the past 3 seasons, it hasn't been that. It's like the NFL brass has considered like, hey, look, we're not only going to give it to injured players. We're going to give it to gone but not forgotten and came back and became relevant a year award. You know what I'm saying? And that's what Joe Flacco won. You know how I felt? I thought it was easily going to be DeMar Hamlin or Tua Tagovailoa. That's it. There's no other person in this category. And I think you were on record saying it had to be DeMar Hamlin because he didn't just come back from an injury. The man came back from death. He was raised from the dead and came back and played in the NFL game. Dude died on the field and came back and didn't win Comeback Player of the Year award. You know what I'm saying? But for me, I thought it was going to be Tua. The concussions, everybody said this man needed to retire. He did not retire and then came back and led the league in passing. I don't know how Joe Flacco won Comeback Player of the Year award, and he even said it himself, like, I don't know how I won either.
Yeah, like we kind of went again back and forth, especially as the season was progressing and Tua was playing so well. It was like, if he doesn't win MVP, he's going to win Comeback Player of the Year. And my whole thing throughout, and a lot of people was like, Tua's comeback is amazing. DeMar Hamlin's comeback is something from a movie. Like the guy died on the field, and my whole thing was he just needed to play one snap in the NFL, not a full game, not a full season. If he made it onto the field and played one snap, dude, you've come back. I don't understand how he didn't win it. When I saw Joe Flacco, like I think when we was preparing for this, and I was looking at some like images on Google, and you saw Joe Flacco come back in the year, you was like, is that real? I was like, Charlie, that's real. They legitimately gave Joe Flacco comeback of the year, and Charlie voice, I'm done. Just like I'm like, Charles like, I'm done. Like there was no point in having a conversation no more.
Yeah, so I missed the NFL honors. I actually didn't see it. So when I seen these awards popping up on social media, I like, wait, is this for real? So my thing about DeMar Hamlin, bro, and we're gonna sum all this up. We're gonna make it quick. We got one more award to give away here in a second. But my thing on DeMar Hamlin, DeMar Hamlin and the Bills went through so much in 2022, the 2022 season. And as a Miami Dolphin fan that bleeds aqua and orange, I did not mind if the Dolphins were not going to be the team to show up in the playoffs. I did not mind for a season, not even a season, for a moment, for the Bills to have their moment and get up out the way and be like, all right, y'all did that. I'm not thrilled about it, but I'll accept it because of what Buffalo, the city, has went through, and then have a person die on the field and then come back, by the way. I was okay with it. And I thought it was a Disney movie waiting to happen. All right, y'all make y'all movie and get up out of here. Because I do rock with Levy and Andre Reed and Jim Kelly and all them boys and Don Beebe from back in the day. Like, I feel like it was a travesty that they didn't win. It is too bad, too sad. But now that it hasn't happened, y'all need to get up. Yeah, I'm done with y'all boys. You know what I'm saying? Like, congratulations, DeMar Hamlin. You can provide for your family for the rest of your life. Hopefully it's a happy, healthy, long life. But Joe Flacco wasn't supposed to win Comeback Player of the Year. Getting into this last award, Go Time Dolphins Award, it is an honorable mention that we already mentioned. So it's an honorable mention, and this could have went into the Celebration Award. It could have went into the Picture of the Year Award. It could have went into the Moment of the Year Award. But this is the honorable mention. If you could bring it up, Kadeem, for everyone listening to this honorable mention, it was a celebration, and it was what Kadeem said was the what is it? I don't know what we call it, conga line. You know what I'm saying? It was where everybody was lined up. Two was in the front. I like, hey, we gonna do this at Kadeem wedding. You know what I'm saying? And everybody was bopping and vibing. So that moment was like, for me, I'm like, listen, everybody feeling it now. The whole league got to be like, yo, 70 points, bro. These boys couldn't even take pictures after the game without looking Pat Surtain looking out. And like, damn, these boys dropped 70 on us. You know what I'm saying? And then my homeboy Kadeem Simmons dropped the line of the year with no, I wouldn't have kicked it. You know what I'm saying? I would have went for the touchdown. I'm not kicking it. Y'all didn't stop me now. I'm scoring the touchdown now. So this was an honorable mention. This image right here, Tua leading the line and Armstead and Mostert and Tyreek Hill, everybody behind them boys bopping like, oh man, this is a vibe. And that for me, Kadeem, definitely had to be honorable mention.
Yeah, definitely. Like Drakey said, like we said, essentially the season really didn't get much better, you know, after that. Obviously, Ramsey came back and we made the playoffs, all that kind of stuff. But this game, this moment, this feeling, no one could tell the Dolphins that they weren't the best team in the league. Like, this wasn't a 70 bomb on a team. This wasn't a 70 bomb on the 2019 Miami Dolphins when the team was just trash. Right. And they had this was a 70 bomb on the team that was led by Russell Wilson, which didn't pull their starters, which kept on playing hard. And again, this is like before Devon Achane with Devon Achane. This is where like Dolphins have this rookie running back, but really, what's he going to do? Devon Achane came out that game. Tua came out that game. The Dolphins offense came out that game. The defense came out that game. Special teams came out that game as you are a trash unit because you gave up a kick return. Like, how do you give up a kick return? That's a whole nother issue. But listen, yeah, honorable mention to like moment of the year, picture of the year, and essentially game of the year. Like Dolphins dropping 70, like it's just memorable in so many different ways.
Yeah, if we could close it out and just have some transparency for all the fans and everything, all the listeners. Here are a couple places where me and Kadeem kind of disagreed, and we'll clean it up for everybody. A lot of the categories was there's no disagreeing at all. I disagreed with Defensive Player of the Year. I thought Bradley Chubb could have got Defensive Player of the Year. Kadeem went with Jalen Ramsey. We had to hash that out, and ultimately we decided on Jalen Ramsey. None of them were like, oh my goodness, what are we gonna do? Let's take out the It was cool. Like, all right, it's cool. And then we had MVP. Kadeem was on the side of Tyreek Hill being MVP. Of course, I can see that happening. So we had to split the difference. I had Tua being MVP. And we had to split the difference. Okay, one's going to get Defensive Player of the Year. The other one's going to get MVP.
Offensive.
No, it was defensive. Defensive Player of the Year, Jalen Ramsey and Bradley Chubb.
Oh, I was talking about Hill and Tua.
Yeah, so we had
Sorry,
we had to split the difference between defensive player of the year and the MVP, and that's how we came to, get to where we got. And other than that, there was no other discrepancy on the actual oh man, I really need this to be that. But I hope everyone enjoyed this episode. I hope you guys had fun. Next year, if you rock with us on Patreon, you'll be able to set up some of these categories for us. And then we'll go into a whole episode led by for the fans and by the fans.
Yeah, guys, thank you for joining us on Valentine's Day. Once again, shout out to voice of the podcast, Jordan Simmons, on her birthday. And before I go, just a little. Charlie, next time you see me in a suit, I'll be getting married. So that's what I'm saying.
I'll be there.
It's going to be amazing. Guys, we shall see you on the next one. Peace.